This is the new Defender OCTA, and we've just picked up the keys from Land Rover Oxford. And you know what? They've given us permission to get it really, really mucky. What's different about the Defender OCTA? Well, the first thing is under the bonnet, because instead of the 5-litre V8 you get in other performance Defenders, in this one we've got a 4.4-litre one. And you might be thinking, well, that's a downgrade. But this is a twin turbocharged BMW engine, so it produces 635 horsepower, and it will get this 2.5 ton brute to 62 miles per hour in 4 seconds dead. So I think that's problem number one addressed. And believe me when I say that isn't even the most impressive thing in this car. But before I show you what that is, here are some of the subtle but cool differences. Now, firstly, the Defender badge at the front here is outlined with some gold. The front grille, you might notice, is now slightly larger because of that very air-hungry engine. And you'll definitely have noticed these whacking great wheel arches over here, which actually hide a wider track at the front. The front, in fact, is over 60 millimeters wider, and you get these all-season tires, but you can get more aggressive off-road tires with a slightly more aggressive wheel as well. Plus, what you also get is an over 30 millimeter higher ride height as part of a substantial off-road upgrade package. That, in fact, is the most impressive thing about this car. But before we show you what that's like off-road, you might be pleased to know that even if you struggle with taller cars, you get your side steps to help you in. Also, if you forget what you're driving, there is the OCTA symbol on the back here. And I actually think the rear, while the changes are subtle, is the coolest bit, because you'll notice we've got a two-tone color design here. We've got the body color and black over here. You've got your body colored tow bar down there. And if you look underneath, you'll spot a 4-pipe exhaust system, which sounds absolutely monstrous. The interior of the OCTA looks initially very similar to the other Defender interiors, and that's no bad thing, but there are a couple of very significant differences, and I'm going to highlight them. But first, let's talk about the good stuff, because I think most people who like the Defender will be happy to hear that this one gets all the best bits. So you've got JLR's, Land Rover's very impressive PV Pro infotainment system. It looks great, it's quick to use, and actually, do you know what? While it's not the biggest, it's one of the nicest actually out there. And you also get big chunky buttons, so you can use them even when you're wearing gloves in the middle of winter. It's just a tactile, easy interior to get along with. The screen ahead of you is sharp, it's crisp, it's clear, and it's got some nice graphics as well. And you also get the Land Rover Defender grab handles all across the dash. So if you're doing some proper off-roading, you can pick and hold where is most convenient, especially the person in that seat. There's also no shortage of storage space. There's loads of room down there, loads in there. The glove box is okay, actually. And you've got a cooled storage area down here, which is so cold, I'm pretty sure it could give you frostbite. But the most exciting bits of this interior are the changes, and they're very small, but they're very significant. Now, the drive mode selector is down here. It gets the OCTA logo on the front. So when you click that, you cycle through the menus, and it means you can get to the preferred drive mode as quickly as possible. And no less important is that you gain shift paddles on the back of the steering wheel. You don't normally get that in a Defender, but in this car, not only are they big, not only are they tactile, but also they're there to help you control that powerful V8 engine, so you can really make the most of all that muscle, no matter the driving terrain. Oh yeah, and there is one more thing to point out in the interior, and that is the seats, because they are totally different in this OCTA. They are just like the seats you get in a Dakar Rally recce and support vehicle, and that's because Land Rover, you might not know, has been supplying the Dakar Rally with Defenders for that exact job. And so this OCTA celebrates that, and it therefore gets these seats, which are much more like a race seat, and they pinch you slightly, and they're also slimmer as well, but they're still very comfortable. They've got perforated leather, they look the part, and on a long distance drive, they are great. But of course, they are also intended to hold you tight when you're going quick off-road. But before we get onto the mucky stuff, I want to talk to you about the road dynamics of this car, because let's face it, even an OCTA is going to be driven predominantly on the road. And it is lovely to drive over British B roads, on a motorway, and even through town, because it's just so bloody comfortable. The car rides on air suspension, but it has been uprated and changed. And in fact, a lot of the surrounding setup has been changed. So there was a chance it was going to feel a bit too stiff, a bit too rugged, but really the balance is spot on as far as I can tell, at least from the road point of view, because here's a speed bump. I'm going to go over it now. The car, yeah, okay, it moves a little bit more maybe than the typical Defender because it's slightly firmed up in places, but it's still very comfortable from the driver's seat. So you're not going to get tired even in this more extreme OCTA. As for visibility and road handling, well, it's just brilliant Land Rover stuff. I mean, the way they managed to make these tall and heavy cars just handle their body weight so well is exceptional. And then you can tread onto a bumpy road like we have here, and suddenly the car feels completely at home as well. The breadth of capability just in normal driving roads is unquestionable. But of course, this is an Octa, so what we want to see is what it's like on the rough stuff. Even though our Defender Octa is wearing road bias tyres, its off-road pace is nothing short of astounding. The way the car can haul itself along any surface at whatever pace you ask of it, and the way the car's 6D air suspension, complete with interlinked hydraulic dampers, smothers absolutely everything, makes it all feel, well, a lot less like a conventional SUV, and a lot less like a 4x4, and much more like a racing off-roader. It all feels very, well, Dakar Rally. And I haven't even mentioned the engine. Woof, it is quick. This 4.4 litre V8 engine feels just as ferocious as it did when it was in the M5 we drove very recently. We don't have all the electric power in this, but we do have a lot of grip and a lot of noise. Land Rover also, because it shares some of its technical knowledge, or in fact all of its technical knowledge with Jaguar, it has a very good understanding of how to make a car handle well at high speed, and so this definitely feels quite playful as well when you chuck it around. So coupled to this fabulous engine and this actually very quick shifting and now very in control as far as you're concerned gearbox, well, it means this is a really good driving experience even in the sporting sense, which is a bit weird given the Focus is an off-road thing, but that's because it's the Octa and because Dakar Rally, of course, is all about going off-road very, very quickly. This does that very well. All that added on and off-road usability hasn't come at the cost of usability inside, because you still get all the best bits of a Defender, even in the rear. I mean, firstly, of course, we've got grab handles for the passengers that have to hang on here, but you've also got creature comforts like adjustable heating, lots of charging ports, and no shortage of space as well. And if you haven't got people in these seats, which by the way have loads and loads of legroom and loads of headroom, well, you can fold these seats forward in a way that makes the boot ginormous, because you can actually fold this down completely flat, and you can do that across all 3 rows, so it means you can basically have yourself a Defender van. I mean, look how much space you have in the boot. Firstly, by the way, look at the wheel you have here. That clears up room because it's not inside, and this door feels properly tough. I love the way it opens, and it feels rugged like a proper Land Rover. And in here, well, it clears all this room. Look, even with just 2 of the seats ahead folded down, you can see the length of space you have in this car, not to mention the height as well. Plus, you've got a few useful features. Now, with just the press of a button, we can get a tow bar to pop out down there. And also, we have a 3-pin plug in the boot over here, which means you can power things out in the wilderness on the rally, like, for example, a tyre pump if you have to maybe top this one up. You've also got a couple of other useful features. There's a bit more power down here, and you've got this soft carpet just to add to the comfort vibes. But then immediately underneath it, you have this very tough floor. So it means even if you're using this car properly, it should withstand the work, no problem. So now we know the Defender Octa isn't just fast and extremely fun on the road, it's also the same off-road. So much so that I would say it doesn't just feel like a Defender recce car, it feels like a proper Dakar Rally car, which is fitting actually, because Land Rover is taking the Octa rallying proper in the Dakar Rally next year. So if you want to know what it's like to drive one of these, you should come down to Land Rover, Marshall, Oxford, where you can test this actual car. Or if you prefer your SUVs to be a little bit more road biased, there is a fantastic performance one from Aston Martin called the DBX 707, which we've driven in this video here. And if you want to know what it's like to have a V8 BMW engine with the most cutting edge hybrid technology, well, handily, BMW has put exactly that into its new M5 hybrid in this video here.